right, so we are going to go through step-by-step process for your application for the green card lottery. And I need you to pay attention to the details because a lot of the time people get disqualified because they do not follow certain basic things in their application when they are filling it. So it's very, very important how you fill the document that you will be given. And I'm going to explain into details all that there is to know. So firstly, what you need to know is that this application is free of charge. So you don't need to pay anything, and it's very easy to apply. You can do it by yourself. Some people prefer to use agents. That is your choice, but I will highly recommend that if possible, try and do it by yourself because it's so easy to do. Also, you need to know that you are not going to upload any documents, okay, prior to your application. So you don't need to think of gathering document apart from your passport photograph that you'll be required to upload. You do not need to upload any form of documentation like your school certificate or like your traveling passport or nothing like that. So do not worry about that, okay? But the information you input is crucial to whether you will be given the visa or not. So please pay attention to this video and make sure that you watch to the end so that you do not miss all the necessary information that you need in your application. So it is going to be in two parts, but whether you're going to have the part two would depend on whether you are married and whether you have children. So basically, if you are single and if you don't have children, you don't have to worry yourself about part two. But if you are married and you have children, then after the part one, you'll be given the part two session to also fill. So let's look at the details. Now, first information, it says your name. If you look at this, it's asking for a particular order, how the name should appear. It says last name. Okay, so your last name comes first, then your first name, then your middle name. The mistake that a lot of people do here is that they bring their first name first, then they bring their middle name, and then their last name. Please make sure that you follow the format. Your last name or your family name, then your first name comes second, then your middle name last. If you do not have middle name, make sure you click no middle name in the box here, okay? Very, very important. Then you move on to your gender. It says male or female. Click. If you're a male, if you're a female, you just click in the box. Your date of birth is also very important. Make sure that you follow the order. It says the month first, then the day, then the year. So if you were born in March, the March will come first. Or maybe you were born on 4th March, you put 4th here. Then the year 1998 or 1987 or whatever age you were born, you put it there. City where you were born. Now, look at the instruction here. It says enter the birth city only. Do not enter district, county, province, state, birth city. So, for instance, if you are a Ghanaian and you were born in Accra or you're born in Accra, all you have to put is Accra. Don't put Accra, Ghana. Yeah. So you put the city where you were born there, okay? If you don't know your birth city, click unknown, birth city unknown. But obviously you should know. I don't know why you wouldn't know. So please make sure that you input the correct information. It says country where you were born. Please, this part is very, very, very crucial. If you make any mistake in the country where you were born, you will be disqualified. Now, I made a video talking about the countries that have been disqualified from this year's application. If you have not seen that video, please make sure that you go to my channel and check out on that video before you even come to your application, so that you don't have to stress yourself if you are not qualified. Now, what happens here is that if your country is disqualified, okay, and let's say you are a Ghanaian, you were born in Ghana and you are living in the UK, and you go and choose the UK as your country of birth, or you go and choose, for instance, Canada as your country of birth. If Canada is disqualified from this year's application, automatically you are out. So the eligibility will depend on the country where you were born. So don't forget to watch my video on that to know whether your country of birth qualifies to be part of this year's application. Okay. So the mistake that people make here is that they interchange the country of birth with the country of residence, which will come to it. So please make sure that you put the country in which you were born there. Okay, so all you do is you click here and to give you all the options here, and then you select the country where you were born. All right, very, very important. Now, country of eligibility for the DV program. This is what I was talking about. It says your country of eligibility will normally be the same as your country of birth. Okay, your country of eligibility is not related to where you live, as some people interchange it. If you were born in a country that is not eligible for the DV program, please go to explanation of country of eligibility to see if there is another option available in your case. Okay, if you don't want to go through the stress of reading, I have made a video where I spoke about all the countries that have been disqualified, and I also spoke about the options that you have. So please check out on that video, and it can be very helpful to you. So make sure you select the country where you were born, because it will determine whether you are eligible to apply or not, or whether you be disqualified or not. Okay. And if you check here, it says, are you claiming eligibility based on the country where you were born? So basically, by default, it has selected yes. So if your country is eligible for this year's application, okay, you do not need to change this year's year. Please make sure that you leave it as it is. I repeat, if your country is eligible to apply for this year, once you select it here, automatically by default, it is going to be yes here. So you leave it unless your country was disqualified. If your country was disqualified and you want to use the other options available to claim it, that is when you come and click the no here, okay? Which I've already made a video about it, or you can also read about it here, okay? So here is also very, very important. And unless you are claiming it either by your marital status or by your parental status. Otherwise, please make sure that you leave it here as yes, okay? Because you are claiming it by your country of birth. So it's yes. And it says, if not, you must enter the country from which you are claiming eligibility. So, like I said, if your country is disqualified, but you want to claim eligibility, okay, that is when you come and choose. So if, let's say, you are claiming eligibility through your parents or through your spouse, then you are going to click here and select the country in which your spouse or your parents are resident or are qualified, okay? More details is in my other video, so please make sure that you can watch it for more details. Now, entrance photograph. This area is also very, very important. If you do not get the correct format, if you do not follow the exact instructions that they have given, you can be disqualified. Okay, so please make sure that you follow the exact instructions, which I'm going to show you now. Okay, so if you want to upload your picture, like I said, that is the only thing you'll be required to upload. That is your passport photograph or your picture photograph. Those are the only information that you'll be required to upload. Okay, apart from that, no other information. So I'm going to show you examples of how the picture should look like. Okay, so let's go here. These are examples, okay, of how the pictures should look like this. Let's click here. No glasses, as you can see, it's unacceptable. Make sure you don't wear glasses. The size and the position. Let's look at the details of the size and the position. It says If you are applying in person or by mail, your photo should be 2 by 2. That is 51 by 51 mm, with the head centered and size between 1 and 1.4. That is 25 and 35 mm. If you are renewing online, make sure there is ample space around your head to allow room for automatic cropping by you. Okay, so these are the specifications. It accepts the JPEG file format, at least 600 by 600 pixels and at least 50 kilobytes in size. Okay, so make sure that you follow the exact size and position. Then the resolution, this is how it should be. It's a photo is sharp without any visible pixels or printer dots, and photo is printed on glossy or matte quality paper. Digital alteration and retouch. No digital alteration and retouch. Make sure that you don't retouch, you don't filter. Okay, it is unacceptable. Let's look at the pose and expression. This is the correct pose. Look straight into the camera. It says applicant is directly facing camera with a neutral expression. Eyes are clearly visible. So make sure that your eyes are clearly visible. You look straight into the camera. Let's look at the attire. Okay. It says subject full face is visible. No shadows or clothing captured the face. So make sure that the face is not covered by any subjects or obstacle. All right. You may not wear hats or head coverings except for religious or medical purpose. So if like by religion, you are supposed to cover the face like this, that is acceptable. Otherwise, make sure that you avoid that. The background says the background is white or off-white without shadows and is plain without texture, objects, or lines. So make sure that the background is clear. If it is a child, you are doing it for your child. These are samples of pictures that are correct. Okay. You see these ones, he's looking somewhere, it's not correct. The tongue is out, it's not correct. He's laughing, he has a bib. His mom's hand and mom's picture is in it. These are not acceptable. Okay. So make sure that no other person is in the photo and the child is facing the camera with eyes open. Okay. And then also make sure that you do not use former pictures. It's very, very important. Let's say you have been applying before, please make sure that you do not use your former pictures for last year. Make sure that you get a new picture and use. Don't repeat pictures. It's very, very important. Let's move on. Here is asking for your mailing address. This mailing address is talking about your postal address, okay? PO box, which is not really crucial, but if you have, yes, put it there. Country, you select, put it there. That's basically your postal address. But this session, okay, it says country where you live today, okay? That's what I was saying. Don't interchange it. Your country of birth is different from your country of residence. By your country of residence means where you are currently living as at the time you are applying. Okay, so maybe you were born in Africa, but you are living in Europe. As at the time you are applying, you select the country. You are in England, you are in Belgium, Burkina Faso, wherever country you are in, as at the time you are applying, you input there the phone number. Yeah, not necessarily crucial, but if you have, it says optional, you can put it there. However, your mailing address is crucial, it's very, very important. So make sure that you put in a mailing address. So your mailing address is not optional, it's very, very crucial. So make sure you input a mail address that you are accessible or you are reachable. Okay. And then to ask you to confirm, it says, note, this email address will be used to provide you with additional information if you are selected. So if you put in the wrong email and you are selected, you may not get the additional information you need. So make sure that you put in a mail that you can easily access. Very, very important. Let's move on. It says, what is the highest level of education you have achieved as of today? Okay. So these are the options: primary, high school only. If that's what you have, put it there. high school only, no degree, put it there. High school degree, put it there. Vocational school. Now, with a vocational school, unfortunately, if it is vocational school, it is not acceptable. But if that's what you have to click it. Okay. Some university courses, that means that you did some university courses, but you didn't finish. Okay. You select. Maybe you were enrolled, you started, you didn't finish, you select. University degree, you have finished, you have your certificates, you select. Some graduate level courses, okay, that means that you are still in school. You asked at the time you are applying, you are still in school, you select that one. You have your master's degree, you select. Some doctorate level, you select doctorate level, you select. But I want us to read the details here. It's very, very crucial. It says you must have a minimum of a high school diploma reflecting the completion of a full course of study. Okay. So at least you should have finished your full course. And then it says vocation schools or equivalent degree are not acceptable. As I said earlier, unfortunately, it is not acceptable. Or another acceptable, it says, or be a skilled worker in an occupation that requires at least 2 years of training or experience to qualify. So to be able to qualify, at least you should have a form of education, okay, or at least 2 years experience in a skilled work. That is what can also qualify you. So remember, once you apply, does not mean that you would get it. You go through the interview phase where you be scrutinized again. So all these are very, very important. Okay. Now, another crucial part is your marital status. A lot of people make mistake here because they do not provide the exact information that they need to input. Now, marital status, unmarried, that means that you are single. If you are single, you are not married, click on it. Remember, I said earlier, if you are single and if you don't have children, you're not going to see the part 2 of the forms. But if you are married, okay, you have children, then you're going to have another form, which is the part 2, where you're going to input the details of your children, the details of your spouse, and everything in there. Okay, so married and my spouse is not a US citizen or US lawful permanent resident. If that's your situation, you click. Or you are married and your spouse is a US citizen or US lawful permanent resident, you enter in there. If you are divorced, you have your divorce certificate, enter there. If you are widowed, you enter. If you are legally married or if you are legally separated, that one too, you have to enter. Okay. When it talks about the legal separation means that you have been given a court order, okay, to be separated. That means that as at the time you are applying, you are not divorced completely, but the court has given you order to be separated from each other. Okay, you can include that spouse's name there. You will not be penalized. Okay, let's read. It says legal separation is an arrangement where a couple remain married but live apart. So following a court order, if you and your spouse are legally separated, your spouse will not be able to migrate with you through the diversity visa program. So even though you enter his information, does not mean that he's going to migrate with you, but you need to input the person's information. Okay, it says you will not be penalized if you choose to enter the name of your spouse from whom you are legally separated. You'll not be penalized. So include it. And it says if you are not legally separated by a court order, you must include your spouse, even if you plan to be divorced before you apply for the diversity visa. So what that means is that you are planning to be divorced, but you are not yet divorced. It is mandatory that you include your spouse. Again, that does not mean that he's going to migrate to you, but once you are still in it, even though you are dreaming of divorcing or you have plans of divorcing, you still have to include them. Okay. It says failure to list your eligible spouse is grounds for disqualification. So remember, you're going to go through an interview phase. So the fact that you are selected doesn't mean that automatically you will be given it. So these are some of the petty mistakes that people make that takes them out of the program. So make sure that you input your information accurately, okay? It says if your spouse is a US citizen or lawful permanent resident, do not list him or her. So if your spouse is already a citizen, then there's no need to include your spouse, okay? Let's move on. It says number of children. Now, this is another crucial area. If you have children, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever number of children that you have, put it there. Also, make sure that if you have, let's say, adopted children, you add them, or even stepchildren, you add them. Okay, I'm going to read the instructions here. It says children include all biological children. Okay, so your own biological children, legally adopted children. When we say legally adopted children, we are not talking about children that you have been paying their school fees. Some people make mistakes. They say, oh, this child, I have the one that have been taking care of him is my sister's child or is my brother's child. I've been paying his school fees. I've been taking care of them. No, that is not what it's talking about. It's talking about legally adopted children. That means that by document you have adopted that child. Okay, so you include that child and stepchildren who are unmarried and under the age of 21. Please pay attention to this section. It says unmarried first. So that means that the child you are adding should be unmarried. Secondly, the child should be under the age of 21. So that means that as at the time you are applying, if that child legally, biologically, or stepchild is above the age of 21, you cannot include that child. If the child is married, you cannot include that child. Okay, but it says that under the age of 21, on the date you submit your entry. Very, very important. It says you must include all eligible children, even if they do not live with you or if they do not intend to apply for a diversity visa as your derivative. Okay, so that means that whether the children are with you or not, once they are biological children or once they are legally adopted or once they are your stepchildren below the age of 21, you have to include them, okay? Or if as at the time you're applying they are 21, you have to include them. It says failure to list all eligible children is grounds for disqualification. If your child is a US citizen or lawful permanent resident, do not list him or her in your entry. So just like your spouse, if your child is also by birth a citizen there, then you don't need to worry about it. So once you finish filling all this information, you click on continue. Okay. Remember, if you click on continue, if you are single, you are not going to have the part 2 where you're going to input your children and your spouse's information. But if you are married and have children, it's going to take you to the part 2. And then once you finish filling it, to give you the chance to review if every information there is accurate. Once you review and you click submit, it's going to bring you a confirmation just like this. Okay, and make sure that your you take a copy of this confirmation information. The reason being that some people allow agents to do it for them. If it's an agent that is doing it for you, make sure that you get a copy of your confirmation number. This page, please. Very, very important, because that's what you're going to use to check your status. So make sure that you get a copy of your confirmation page, okay, and the confirmation number, and you can check your status. I will make another video where I will show you where you can actually check your status. Okay, so do make sure that you subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified when I upload that video. And this is the link that you can use to apply if you are interested. Remember, the deadline is on the 7th of November. So you still have an ample time, not too late. So give it a go, give it a try. So www.dvprogram.state.gov is the website. I'll also drop the link in the description section so you can access it.
Well, I do hope that that was very informative and you should be able to apply for the program by yourself now. Remember to subscribe to the channel too, and do stay tuned for my next video. But before I leave, I just want to encourage you, perhaps you have been applying for the program year after year and you are not getting it and you are giving up. No, I just want to encourage you, do not give up, continue to apply. Perhaps this might be your opportunity. And then also I want to say that broaden your scope of search. Do not just limit yourself to this route. There are so many other countries that you can look at. Canada is there, the United Kingdom is there, Australia, and so many other countries, Germany. And so that is what my channel is also about. I bring you opportunities in some of these other countries. So please do make sure that you subscribe to my channel, that you like, that you turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified anytime I upload a video. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at Susan_Tilly, or you can send me a mail at susantillestravel@gmail.com. Connect with me. If you need any help, I'll be happy to assist you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video.